I was really fortunate. I was adopted, as you guys said, at 4 months old from Seoul. I was born there and was adopted by the Stevens family into a suburb of Chicago. We actually left. My dad got a job in San Diego, and so we moved to California when I was 5. And growing up in California, there are a lot of folks of every race and background, that is at your school, that is your neighbor. And so I had a pretty easy if you want to call it transition. I have to tell you a story. My best male friend, I still remember this. We grew up together. We were in kindergarten all the way up through 8th grade together. And I remember being on sort of the landing in between the first floor and second floor of my parents' house with him. And we were running down the stairs like crazy teenagers. And he just looked at me at one point and he goes something like, wow, you don't look anything like your parents. This was like, this was 7th grade. And that just kind of illustrates that, it wasn't something, being adopted was not something that was thrown in my face or that was sort of, that people talked about behind my back or that made me feel any different from anyone else growing up. I'm sure my parents had a formal conversation with me about it, like the sex talk or whatever, right. But there was no, I don't even remember what that conversation was. It was so smooth that I got really lucky, I feel, in that way. And so really it was only when I went off to college, and you start to move out of your suburban bubble and you start to take a couple classes and you move to LA that, I began to become way more interested in what my background was and to learn that there was a whole community out there of folks just like me.